It is unbecoming for young men to utter maxims. No excellent soul is exempt from a mixture of madness. Friendship is essentially a partnership. No one would choose a friendless existence on condition of having all the other things in the world. Bashfulness is an ornament to youth, but a reproach to old age. Education is the best provision for old age. A tyrant must put on the appearance of uncommon devotion to religion. Subjects are less apprehensive of illegal treatment from a ruler whom they consider God-fearing and pious. On the other hand, they do less easily move against him, believing that he has the gods on his side. We become just by performing just action, temperate by performing temperate actions, brave by performing brave action. Plato is dear to me, but dearer still is truth. For one swallow does not make a summer, nor does one day, and so too one day, or a short time, does not make a man blessed and happy. If liberty and equality, as is thought by some, are chiefly to be found in democracy, they will be best attained when all persons alike share in government to the utmost. Poetry is finer and more philosophical than history, for poetry expresses the universal, and history only the particular. Homer has taught all other poets the art of telling lies skillfully. Different men seek after happiness in different ways and by different means, and so make for themselves different modes of life and forms of government. Man is the only animal capable of reasoning, though many others possess the faculty of memory and instruction in common with him. In constructing the plot and working it out with the proper diction, the poet should place the scene, as far as possible, before his eyes. In this way, seeing everything with the utmost vividness, as if he were a spectator of the action, he will discover what is in keeping with it, and be most unlikely to overlook inconsistencies. Whether if soul did not exist time would exist or not, is a question that may fairly be asked, for if there cannot be someone to count, there cannot be anything that can be counted, so that evidently there cannot be number, for number is either what has been, or what can be, counted. Excellence, then, is a state concerned with choice, lying in a mean, relative to us, this being determined by reason and in the way in which the man of practical wisdom would determine it. Long-lived persons have one or two lines which extend through the whole hand. Short-lived persons have two lines not extending through the whole hand, Rhetoric may be defined as the faculty of observing in any given case the available means of persuasion. This is not a function of any other art. The generality of men are naturally apt to be swayed by fear rather than reverence, and to refrain from evil rather because of the punishment that it brings than because of its own foulness. Most people would rather give than get affection. Bring your desires down to your present means. Increase them only when your increased means permit. It is clearly better that property should be private, but the use of it common, and the special business of the legislator is to create in men this benevolent disposition. Of all the varieties of virtues, liberalism is the most beloved. Persuasion is clearly a sort of demonstration, since we are most fully persuaded when we consider a thing to have been demonstrated. What the statesman is most anxious to produce is a certain moral character in his fellow citizens, namely a disposition to virtue and the performance of virtuous actions. A sense is what has the power of receiving into itself the sensible forms of things without the matter, in the way in which a piece of wax takes on the impress of a signet ring without the iron or gold. Law is mind without reason. All virtue is summed up in dealing justly.